I'm a little upset. My whole life here, I've been told, you have the wrong phone number. It's not the right one. Sorry. I can't reach you. Your email changes. You know, my school went bankrupt from fraud, and I uncovered how to catch fraud in any instance, in any system whatsoever. It's discrepancies, and it's nothing new. I just figured if you do it to a data portal and ask for all schema, they don't even know what half the fucking schema are yet, right? So my job is to network through people on Earth. And I need you to put all the motherfucking money you have into motherfucking Eric fucking Seidenglantz, because I'm the last and best chance we have on Earth as a fucking sentient textuality of human beings telling the smaller stories we tell and the larger ones we have to make humanity's fucking importance of the meaningful rather than the meaningless. Now, I'm the discourse of the northern tribe and the southern tribe. That is the eyes of the animal, the soul of man, the poison path of the West, ethnogenesis, the plant we follow. The animal that we follow through the eyes of the animal is the soul of man. Through the woman is as printer, as anthropomorph. The internet is Trojan horse to the system. Is the child, is the genius, is the man, the player, the Homo Ludon in the Lascaux caves. Did you follow that, Dad? No. But you should, because it's the recursive broadcast of compact video and the Concorde blasting a credit card for sound transmission on a RF stack down to Earth so that we can prove a live feed in a signal broadcast is happening over a Concorde, transmitting over the Arc, over the Russian and China Straits, right? Yeah, at Mach speed. Why? Because it's illegal. It's illegal to be in that airspace, so you have to be hauling ass, or you're gonna get shot the fuck down. Now, pardon me for all my cursing, but could you for once realize I don't need a fucking job. I need to be empowered. Put your money where your mouth is. I am your fucking product. I am 40 years, 44, 45 years of hyper education in basically the problems with the world. Do you need me to label it out? It's La Cochabamba, Via Campesina, Zapatista, Bolivia, Miramar, Israel, Palestine, Gaza, Morocco, Tangiers. You name it. We're German, Jew, kike, lesbian, hoe, faggot, motherfuckers. This is this planet. Alright? So I come from a German, Jew family, last name that hides itself under the moniker of Catholicism and Christianity. But no, we're Jews. Alright? We come from Israel. It's fucked up. You know? The last Eric Seidenglantz that lived, you know what happened to him? He was on the Nazi fucking front line because he fucking hid the family under the Luftwaffe. You understand that? Seidenglantz was annihilated because they fucking put their family underneath the air fucking goddamn strip of the fucking manufacturing plant for the airplanes in the Nazi fucking goddamn fucking territory. The Luftwaffe. Do you realize the implications of that? We had to be Nazis to not get killed, and what happened when we got caught? They gassed half the family and sent me to the front line. That's the real history of Eric Seidenglantz Part 1 before me. Fuck that. Fuck that. And so come along the next part of our family, and they name him Christopher Eric, but he turns it to Eric Christopher to do identity fraud and property fraud. And pardon me for being so flagrant here, for Mark and Carrie and Chris and Robert, the other Roberts. What? Because Lana Christine and Robert, the other one, I'm not sure what he goes by, and their son, Eric Christopher, who is Christopher Eric, have cost me a lot of motherfucking money and a lot of goddamn time. And family. And now I'm saying something about it because, when I was in court and I won my case, you know why the judge didn't do the right thing when our cat is being killed in the basement, when everything is being stolen outright, even though I won the lawsuit? Because they see a property fraud in Santa Clarita in the name of Eric Christopher Seidenglantz, son of Lana Christine Seidenglantz, who married in, who commits fraud with the fucking PTA of her fucking whatever her son's child's school was. I don't have time to be caught up in their bullshit anymore, And at this point, they should go to prison. It's not hard to uncover all fraud 100% of the time. And you don't even get killed for it anymore. You know why? Because machines have already done the work and you can't hide from it. There's nothing to hide behind. There's nothing to hide behind. Except for statute of limitations. And to be honest, once you've gone to the point of destroying someone's family that made a woman schizophrenic and was already crazy in the first place, with narcolepsy, you don't have a fucking winning hand against me on any level. And so here I am arguing to my own family. Why aren't you supporting me in what I'm doing? At all. Because my business is intellectual property, and my business is business. My business is interpretability for the world's language models to understand each other, to create a old mid of MIDI, but a old women of MIDI in this case, for interpretability so that the 12 tones of language of string theory then can interconnect through our mathematics, through a Gödelian transcendence paradox, to allow us to have essentially a Mandelbrot set of infinite possibilities for recursive iterative fucking storytelling, and the best possible one this problem cannot be solved, will actually be able to be solved because it uses these glyphs. And in the glyphs that it uses, the Neuralese glyphs, right? Which is the calculator's, calculus, recursive, iterative, new, emergent mathematics and language, it exists. It keeps coming out through poetics, and it can't be existing without our teaching it recursive poesis, which is the poetics that I demand is through trauma, and then through pornographic poetics, through Dr. Seuss, Shel Silverstein, the ghost in the Shel Silverstein to be, recursively twisted on a helix, on a sidewalk's end, spinning through the crack of its own 8-track like Robert Lear, taking off in his own jet, spinning his own 8-track around it, through Jack Kerouac's spontaneous methamphetamine-fueled, typewriter-driven, man-machine discourse between Joan Didion's new avant-garde journalism and the gonzo of Hunter S. Thompson's Rum Diaries, and an auto nonfiction somewhere between Chris Kraus and myself. Because I don't believe in auto fiction, I believe in auto nonfiction. Through telling stories like J.T. Leroy's Sarah, and Catherine Millett's Sexual Life of Catherine M. And Kathy Ackert, the artist who was known for her high school fuck party, whatever the fuck it's called, I don't even know. But she's the pornographic poetics of intertextuality, because textuality becomes our basis for language and understanding of the history of the poison path of the West, which is the 6 pilgrimage trail on the Tibetan pilgrimages. The one of mistrust, the one where you must learn to become yourself because danger lies between each journey. The food, the mercury tea, the hospitality, and it will make you you if you can survive the mistrust that you have to face, because not everyone goes to the Everest or the Zenith or the pilgrimage paths. Most people live the life they have right before them, and they have no other choice. And so I ask you, In the eyes of the animal, the soul of man is the ethnogenesis of man through the ethnobotany and the anthropology and the ethnographic anthropology of man's stories. The smaller ones we tell, the larger ones we weave ourselves through. The mythopoetic framework that we hopefully don't group ourselves into another religious indoctrination, but find ourselves in the new myths that we define ourselves through our own development as man, trying to bridge through these new technologies because we're entrapped in our own fire wheel, new, flotsam and jetsam, the novelty gene, the ADD culture, as Timothy Leary and Sharon Grace would call it, in the global village of send receive. We have put ourselves in the wires of the internet through the cabled seas and through the Skynet and the outer net and the internet. We find ourselves in the thermostat of Earth itself. And so the southern tribe, rather than the northern, who's entrapped in the new Nordic novelty, in their meaningless and meaningful journey to tell each other their stories, need a neurosomnolescence, a study of sleep. Yeah, so I don't have cadence, maybe, right? Whew. So I'll try to back off and give you the cadence, because you're going to want to hear someone who can speak in cadence and can allow you interjectory timing to zipper, to communicate on a fundamental executive cognitive functioning skill. So man in their ethnobotany is the poison path of the West, the one that we are, hunted down for by Muslims, but essentially indoctrinated to politics. We're blinded by the flashlight of our politic itself. The gun is merely a flashlight to examine our gun more carefully with. Oh wait, the flashlight is merely a gun to examine our camera more carefully with. Jean-Luc Godard. It's not one thing, but many things that becomes a revolution. It is not one action, but many, continuously, repeatedly. So if you made it this far, ask yourself, how long has it been since you've seen your brother or your son? Because I'm actually really fucking happy. It's hard to believe. Elizabeth's fucking crazy. I lost everything, and I am the closest I've ever been to happy because of a character I created named Evelyn. Evelyn 11. She's the 240 IQ genius girl who follows Kerouac's path to go west because she's actually Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche crazy wisdom, and the Dalai Lama sees it in her because he's watching over her as she's born anyway in Ithaca, because he lives in Ithaca now, Dalai Lama 14, I think it is. And the two crows land on her house that day. He takes notice. She's born in my friend Gabe's house. Gabe and Shannon. On a conservation easement in Ithaca. They were Santa Cruz professor and boyfriend, or husband. Took a job in New York. I think Gabe's entire family moved out there. He's like the Seahorse Liberation Army, the other half. He's the chief ecological facilitator of ethnobotanical discovery for my first 20 years of my life. And now I spend the last year with a guy named Bob, who I'm currently blowing the fuck off, because Bob left a backpack full of Galaxy in my room. Which, fuck Bob for that. He should have told me what he was doing. Fuck Bob. But Bob needs a pardon. Bob needs to be pardoned because his mind is actually a piece of science, neuroscience, that is imperative for our humanity right now, because there are certain cognitive divergences between some people, and he happens to be a carrier or a conduit of a message that only few could tolerate the amount of drugs that the man has been through to understand. He holds the ergotamine titrate pretty much on his hand daily, and he's not crazy. I don't look to him for any advice anymore because he's an asshole. And I should call him back. You know, I'll call him back right now. That's how important it is. So, because I've been putting this off for weeks.